present tense and past tense. Hi, how are you? 小朋友你好嗎？今堂 we are going to use present tense or past tense to tell stories. If a story begins with something like long time ago, once upon a time, last Sunday, or other past time indicators, we use past tense, and generally speaking, we have to stick to past tense through the whole story in order to be coherent. If the story begins without any past tense indicators, either past tense or present tense can be used. Likewise, to achieve coherence, you have to stick to present tense through the whole story, or stick to past tense. Now, look at the story on the board. It is a story beginning without any past tense indicators. It means either past tense or present tense is used. However, the writing is incoherent as sometimes the present tense is used and sometimes the past tense is used. For example, the first sentence. Mrs. Cable was the richest woman in the city, but she is also a busy person. The two finite verbs are was and is. One is the simple past tense, and the other is the simple present tense. Now, we are going to put all the finite verbs in this text into the present tense. Mrs. Cable was the richest woman in the city, but she is also a busy person. The two finite verbs are was and is. We use present tense verb to be is to replace was. She always wanted to know what everybody is doing. Wants replaces wanted. When she needs something, she rings a bell and a servant came. Comes replaces came. One day, a truck stops in front of her house and 3 men got out. Gets replaces got. They are carrying a large box. No changes are needed. Mrs. Cable sees this and told her servant, Sam, to go and see what the men were doing. Tells replaces told. Are doing replaces were doing. Sam goes out and spoke to the men, but they don't tell him. Speaks replaces spoke. When he came back, Mrs. Cable is very angry with him. Comes replaces came. Next, she sent George to find out. Sends replaces sent. When he goes out, the man ignored him when he said good morning. Ignore replaces ignored. Says replaces said. He tries again, but this time the big man hit him in the stomach, and he fell on the ground. Hiss replaces hit. Floss replaces fell. Mrs. Cable sees all this and came onto the street. Comes replaces came. The man took her by the arms and put her in the box. No changes. As I have told, if the story begins without any past tense indicators, either past tense or present tense can be used. Now, we put the story in past tense. Mrs. Cable was the richest woman in the city, but she is also a busy person. The two finite verbs are was and is. We use past tense verb to be was to replace is. She always wanted to know what everybody is doing. Was doing replaces is doing. When she needs something, she rings a bell and a servant came. Did replaces this. Ran replaces rings. One day, a truck stops in front of her house and 3 men got out. Stopped replaces stops. They are carrying a large box. We are carrying replaces are carrying. Mrs. Cable sees this and told her servant, Sam, to go and see what the men were doing. Saw replaces sees. Sam goes out and spoke to the men, but they don't tell him. Went replaces goes. Didn't tell replaces don't tell. When he came back, Mrs. Cable is very angry with him. Was replaces is. Next, she sent George to find out. No changes. When he goes out, the man ignored him when he said good morning. Went replaces goes. He tries again, but this time the big man hit him in the stomach and he fell on the ground. Tried replace tries. Mrs. Cable sees all this and came onto the street. Saw replaces sees. The man took her by the arms and put her in the box. Took replaces take. Exercise. Write the verbs in the text, which is the same in both past tense and present tense. This is the end of the lesson. See you.